Gamer Dude 2088, and welcome back to another episode of Back to Square 1.1. And in this episode, episode 8, we're gonna talk about SD farming and Belladon the Light Inugami. Alright, I want to give a special shout out to Rent Trent for sharing this dungeon on EU. Thank you, buddy, for giving me this dungeon. And we're just getting close to finishing up on farming it. We got about roughly 20, maybe 15 minutes left, and we got 37, I believe, out of 40 pieces. So I want to talk about my special technique that I normally use when you early game. Generally, you want to use AoE damage dealers or monsters that can hit multiple targets, or monsters like Rock, the Fire Inugami, who when he kills a monster, he gets an additional turn, so he can attack again. The same way with like the Reapers, if they kill a monster, they get additional turn. The key to farming these dungeons is not to try to get as high as you can, but to get to a certain point, because you can kill the first couple rounds easy after you get into a certain point in your progression. Like, we're able to wipe them, and what we do is we stop here after we clear 3 and start over, rinse and repeat, so to speak. So it's a lot faster, and you're able to farm the dungeon a little more consistently and be able to get all the pieces as efficiently as you can possible. So it does take a lot of paying attention. Like, I could put more monsters in, but all we need is one monster really for each floor. So if they do the right skills, they can all wipe the floors really fast and pretty consistent every time. And you see right here, we're done, we're finished. We have our light Inugami, and we can actually summon them. So we finally made it this far, and this is an important monster to have in your progression. So once you've reached this point, which you should by now if you've been following the series, or if you already have it, you should get this monster. And if you've been trying to open the dungeon yourself, because you have to go through a lot of begging in the chats just to get somebody to give you the dungeon, which is pretty difficult at times. But if you're farming it yourself, you'll be able to farm up enough essence to be able to awaken them. Unfortunately, we still need magic essence, but we have all the light essence we need, and we're going to work on getting the magic essence. So this will be awakened probably by the time this video is uploaded. We already have Bella awakened and maybe 5-starred. Let's talk about Bella the Light Inugami. What makes this monster so important? What makes Bella like the monster that you need? We're going to start here. Skill 1 attacks the enemy with a razor sharp claw and decreases the defense for 2 turns with a 50% chance. But once you awaken it, it gets powered up even more, and now it just attacks with giant claws to decrease the enemy's defense for 2 turns. So instead of having a 50% chance, it's just automatically activated, and the only thing that has to be checked is accuracy to resistance. So the activation, it will be 100% once awakened. Then you have Seize, attacks the enemy and removes the beneficial effects on the target. So this is going to help you, and this is what we call a stripper, single target, but this is what we call a stripper, which makes Bella really unique, because a skill like this is going to be important through your giant's progression. Once you get into the giant, you get further, the giant gets attack buffs, defense buffs. In the final dungeon, it gets an attack buff, but you have a defense break, but we'll talk about all of that later in a later video. But it's important that you're able to break the giant's defense, which Bella's first skill does, and then able to remove the beneficial effects on a monster, which Bella's second skill does. Now the third skill, Mobilize, fill the attack bar of all allies by 30% and recover their HP by 30%. So you get turn efficiency by your attack bar filling, as well as you get a pretty decent heal. And Bella will be the best healer, or the best natural 3-star healer in the game. Hands down, there's no 3-star monster that has a kit, let alone a heal as best as Bella's is, at least in my opinion. And this monster is real important. It's going to keep you alive. It's going to do everything you need. And like I was saying before in the video, Bella is a defense-based monster, but doesn't mean that that's specifically what Bella is meant to be used for. Bella's more of a support based on the skill kit because it has supportive skills. It helps the rest of your monsters put out damage. It gives everyone more turns. It keeps your team alive, on top of making sure the enemy can't protect itself, which makes the utility of Bella like insanely great. And this is a monster that, if you were listening in the first couple videos, I was saying you're farming your first 3 swift sets. You're going to be farming a swift set for this monster, because this monster is going to replace your water fairy if you're still using your water fairy. Hopefully you didn't 5-star your water fairy because it's unnecessary. And if you started building Konamiya is a great replacement until then, because Konamiya you're not going to really need as much until you get into Giants B7, where you need to cleanse, and at that time you should be working on your Veramos fusion so you can replace Konamiya with Veramos to help you go through the rest of your Giants progression into your TOA progression, into your Dragons progression, until Konamiya is useful again, maybe in TOA, but mostly in the raid later. Monsters get moved around like that. I'd like to also go on and talk a little bit about what was going on the account. I've gotten a good lightning and pulled the Fire Beast Monk Kumar, and I guess I can add in an extra topic here where I want to talk about pitfalls that a lot of people have in the game when they first start off. Is everyone tell you to devil mine your Nat 5s. Nat 5s are the best monsters in the game, blah blah blah. True, all true. But the problem and the pitfall that a lot of people have when they start the game is they get Nat 5s and they get all these great Nat 5s. That's amazing, but not good for your progression. For one, when you start the game, when you're working on to your Giants progression, you're building a team for GB10, which is Giants B10, the final dungeon in the Giant. It's a water-based dungeon, so water monsters are okay. Wind monsters have the advantage. So you want to build initially your wind team, which consists of a wind damage dealer, Shannon, and Bernard, the wind griffin. So that's generally your wind team. Then you have Veramos and Bella, which are the oddballs that you will need later, which will complete that team to give you decent farming capabilities. So the problem is, people will get a monster like this, which is good for the PvP side of the game, which you shouldn't be focusing on, or is good for another specified dungeon, maybe TOA or something like that, but this is not great for your start and progression. Like Kumar, I did put some runes on him, some random half-ass runes, not the best stuff I have, but whatever I had left over. And okay, he still got some crap runes too, but the better runes that I do have on my monsters, I put on the monsters that's gonna carry me through progression. They generally get first dibs on most of everything. Alright, Shannon does need some work, but we're farming Giants to get her better runes. But generally, the best of the best goes on the monsters that's helping you in your progression. And you want to continue to put only your best runes on your best monsters. Now, there's no problem with runing up your extra monsters, but just note that this will keep you from progressing faster in the game. And nobody want to stay in early game for forever. You'll be sitting there and you'll get bored with the game and you want to quit and do something else. But no, I want you to continue playing. Come to us, definitely want you to continue playing. Spend that money. I want you not to fall in that slump of thinking because you pull a Nat 5 that you have to stop your progression to build that monster. You'll see them all the time. I just got the Fire Beast Monk. Is he good? And people be like, yeah, well, you do this, you build that, you do this, you build that. And then they're like, all right, I got to get these rooms. Oh, I got to get violent rooms because this monster's good with violent. Okay, I need to get revenge rooms, but I need to farm the dragon. So I'm going to do all of that and get these rooms and build this monster and forget about what they're supposed to be doing and then end up stuck. And that's not where I want you. I will slowly be working on him, but he's not important. And so far, we're a couple weeks into the game, into this account, and I've already farmed up for the last 2 weeks Devil Mine, which you should put your Devil Mine into your Nat 5. But if your Nat 5 is not what going to help you in your progression, you put it into the monster that's going to help you in your progression. And since we have this HOH where they gave us the Wind Sylph Shimate, why wouldn't I put it into the wind monster that I'm going to be using in the final dungeon? Granted, if I pull something better than him, then I could switch focus. But it still would be more important for me to stay on task and continue to build the monster that I'm building. So this is going to be my damage dealer, and my end team should be Shimate, Shannon, Bernard, Bella, Veramos. And that will be my GB10 team for this account. Unless I make any other changes, but we'll talk about that in another video. It's kind of what I wanted to touch on for this one, just getting you hit to what you should do when you're SD farming, trying to get Bella. Once you get Bella, what your next phase should be, awakening, getting that first Swift set on Bella and everything, and then moving on. Not falling into them pitfalls of those Nat 5s because it can hurt you tremendous. And I just had to talk to one of my guildmates that was in my stream the other day about it. I had to really get on them tough because they've been a part of the guild for quite some time, and they're one of the people that actually play consistently, but haven't progressed like everyone else is. That hurts the guild overall because they are one of our members and they're not progressing when they need it. That little bit of help. So I'm definitely going to give you all the help you need, man. Just keep talking to me, man. Keep letting me know what's going on. We're going to figure this out for you and get you on track. And for everybody else, I hope this has been beneficial for you. This is the Gamer Dude signing out. See you in the next episode of Back to Square 1.1. And I'm out. Deuces.